All right, let's get this a little adjusted. I guess that's okay. It feels like I'm far away. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody doing? I hope you all are doing well. Here we are. It's Friday already. Man, time is flying. It's really fun. Like Steve actually just said to me today, um, he goes, man, he goes, March is almost over. I go, yeah, man, it's weird. I mean, the time is just jamming. I don't know if you guys are feeling that too. Maybe it's just because of old age, but it definitely feels like it's going very, very fast. So who we got here? Mike Stars in the house. Uh, Gaden. We have Annie's here. Ricky Bobby. Black Rose. Carol Prince is in the house. Good to see everybody. JJ, of course, is here. Uh, Spilled Beans. I like that name. That's very good. So Tanya's Bell. TJ TJ Ray 3. So let's see. We got that chalk girl, that chalk gal. Very good. Good to see everybody. Welcome, welcome. All right. Before we jump into anything, I would just like to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people that are in blue with the blue shields will boot you out of here because we're not going to tolerate it, okay? So just putting that out there ahead of time. And so I appreciate your support on that. If somebody comes in and acts stupid, please do not engage with them. Let my moderators take care of them because that's what they do. We don't want to give these people the attention that they seek. So that is why we do that. All right. Delbert Jones said it's almost 90 here today. We were warm today. I mean, we were definitely in the 60s today, which absolutely felt fantastic. I'll be honest with you, it felt fantastic. So, uh, but okay, if you have anything that you want to stand out for me, like Delbert Jones just did with all cap locks, it stands out for me more, and I'll probably see it better. I don't always see all the comments, guys, because I'm talking and I'm trying to engage with you and keep my thoughts clear. But I am looking to the side and looking at the comments as well. So just letting you guys know ahead of time. I did see that Chuck Norris passed away. Hey, 86, guys. 86 is a great run. That is a very good run. And they said he passed suddenly, but, that's going to happen. But yeah, I'm not, good for him. That's the way I'd like to go. Quick. One day you're walking around and you're fine. Next day, bam, done. No long drawn out thing where you waste away. I watch. I'll tell you right now. Like my grandfather died from leukemia. Okay, over a 4-year period, he had over 400 blood transfusions in that time frame. Okay, I watched him go from 210 pounds, solid man. I mean, my grandfather, he had forearms on him because he was always wrenching because he was doing plumbing and stuff. I mean, he was no joke. My grandfather was no joke. Uh, I watched him go from that. When he died, I don't think he weighed 110 pounds. You could see every bone in his body. In his back, he could see all the bones. It was horrible. And the reason I know is because I'm the one that did a lot of his personal care near the end. And, it was, but I will tell you what, I can tell you that the closeness that him and I got in that last couple of years of his life was amazing. Absolutely was amazing. And I wouldn't change that for anything. Can you explain how you were going in the Chronicles and if the series is going to be live? I think is what you're asking me. Okay, so first of all, it won't be, none of it will be live. I won't be doing the Chronicles live. All of it will be, what I was trying to do with the Chronicles was I wanted to try to like pre-record it and do like an hour. But I can't. The live streams won't let you record to start with. So that series that I'm going to be doing, and somebody made a really great statement, and I said, good idea. They said when you start doing an episode, you know, do the your little intro first and say this is for entertainment. I've had people go, are you trying to manifest something happening? And folks, the Chronicles is strictly for entertainment. Strictly for entertainment. Now, did I use kind of like my own backstory for the start of it? Yes. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, yeah, it's a new, yeah, it's I wanted to do something. I've been listening to a lot of the zombie apocalypse blogs, right? Does that mean those people are trying to manifest a zombie apocalypse? I will tell you this, the way that I look at things, and I just kind of wanted to clarify this. As a prepper and somebody who's been prepping for a long time, do I hope that something happens and at the end of the world happens? I don't, and I will tell you why. I have children. I don't want them to have to try to live through something as horrific as a worst case scenario could be. Do I think that there's a strong possibility of something happening? I do. Okay. So it's not that I'm trying to manifest anything. I am doing a story. It's a story. And hopefully people can, you know, take that for what it is. And, I still got a little bit of backstory to do with the story. So, like the next episode, which will be next Thursday at 7 p.m., and I've already set up a thing for the series, the PN1 Apocalyptic series is what I put it under. So, if you were like if down the road, if you're just jumping on and seeing it, you can go back to the beginning and watch from episode 1 because I'll be doing it like the beginning of the end, um, you know, episode 2, and I'll do it like that. You know what I mean? So, um, I think it'll be fun. It kind of gives, the reality of what's prepping is all about, why we're doing it, and then it's going to be here's the event and what happens after the event and how ready we were and all that type of stuff. But yeah, Kathy Hoka wants me back in New York to pay my share. I will never, 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 never live in New York State again. Just putting it out there. My boyfriend is listening while on deployment, and we're both enjoying your live stream together, thousands of miles apart. Could you shout out Mike? Mike, brother, you're on deployment. You do not have any idea how much support you have in this country. We support our troops, especially veterans like myself. We support our troops. So, Mike, good luck, brother. I hope you're safe, and thank you. Appreciate you watching. So, all right. So, Deborah says, been following and watching for a while, but this is my first time trying to chat. Well, welcome, Deborah. I'm glad you've been watching. I appreciate that. All right, guys, we got 187 in the chat already. We got 71 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that. It really does make a big, big difference with the algorithm. So the more interaction that we can have in the channel, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And again, I thank you ahead of time for that. Excuse me. All right. So, yeah, I think it's awesome. Doing something different. And like I said, I'm going to be doing a once a week type of thing series. What we're going to be doing, just to kind of give you guys an overview, I gave you a little bit of a backstory. I got a little bit more to do on that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back to present day and the SHTF event happened. Okay. But I'll make sure I do a disclaimer moving forward. But is it possible to give us a heads up for a while until we can get used to the series? And I'm praying for all of our brothers and sisters overseas. Yeah. I mean, like when I do the Thursdays 3:00 video, I will say, hey, 7:00 is the second installment or the third installment or whatever of the series. Again, I have a playlist. If you want to go into the playlist at any time and look and see if there's a new episode, you can do that as well. Okay, so we'll do that. But yeah, I think it's like I said, we're going to follow everybody's journey to get here to the homestead, and I will use their real names, okay? And we'll see who makes it and who doesn't make it, because in reality, not everybody's going to make it, okay? That's the reality for different reasons. And so that's kind of what we're going to do with that to make it interesting to follow that story. Because just because you have a bug out location and you're prepared and you have stuff there doesn't mean you're going to make it there. Okay. So that's, again, it's going to be a story, and I think it'll be interesting. All right. So let us move on. uh, and so should be chill down here. I mean, down there tonight because she was just OUT. So we should be good shape with her being chilled out tonight. We'll see how that goes. Oh, poor Mark's gonna pick on me. Nah, he's good. I'm pretty sure he might be one of the ones that makes it. We'll see. No guaranteed. If he irritates me, then he won't. No, I'm just teasing. We'll see. I kind of have an idea of how I want to do it. Um, and again, we're gonna lead up, and then when people get here and all that type of stuff. At gas prices here actually went down 10 cents. Well, I don't know if everybody saw or not. Other countries are now saying, including Canada and Japan, some of the European countries, that they will help make sure that the ships are going through the Strait of Hormuz without being harassed. So they're going to be getting escorts, military escorts. So I think that is a good thing. You don't have to agree with the war. You don't, you don't have to be supportive of the war. But when you see, here's some thoughts that I wanted to share with you guys on this thing. You have the situation right now where Iran has been getting pounded, with these, bombings and missiles and everything else like that. I've actually had a couple people in the comments try to say, "Oh, Iran is doing just fine, and the U.S. is getting their butt kicked." I mean, it's like, what fantasy world do you live in? Okay, we have the strongest military in the world. A country like Iran or North Korea or any of those type of countries, they can't match what we're doing. They just can't. Okay, there's just it's not a question of, well, could they hold up or not. Now China would give us a run. I'm sure Russia would give us a run, but now you're talking about a different kind of warfare. But what we're doing right now, we've degraded their ability to do what they're doing. So they're targeting. They went in Qatar and targeted the natural gas fields. They hit those. So they're trying to what the position that Iran is in right now. If they can drive gas prices or the barrel of oil up a lot higher than it is right now, if they can do that, right, what that does is that puts like everyday people like us, they go, Jesus, we're paying this much more for gas and diesel, and now the cost of goods has gone up exponentially as well because the cost of transporting them is up. That's what they're hoping for. Okay, I am still hopeful that this can be resolved rather quickly. No guarantee that it's going to be. Do I believe we'll put boots on the ground? I think strategically we will. I don't think we're planning to invade Iran, but some of the islands that are in the Strait of Hormuz, that would not shock me if we took some of those over. Not just one, but I think I would imagine a couple that would need to be strategically sought after. That would not surprise me. And again, it's I guess Israel hit one of the oil fields for Iran, and that was like their retaliation was to go after Qatar. But again, I don't want to see, excuse me, I don't want to see things get out of hand. Now, could they get out of hand? You start getting Chinese ships in there, and you start getting other country ships. It could be, it could set something bigger off, and I think that's concerning. Uh, China's got a lot of skin in the game because they get a lot. They buy, I think, 80% or 90%. I don't know why I'm coughing here, of Iran's oil. So they don't want to lose that. And they're not paying, again, in the petrodollar. The bigger game, folks, again, the bigger game in this is not about Iran. That's not the bigger game. Now, we're going to say all the things that we need to say. We're going to say, ooh, they're like, the terror capital and they have all these proxy groups that they're supporting, which it appears that that's what the case is. Now, I'm not saying for sure that it is, but I'm just saying that that is something that is, a possibility. The bigger picture is we cut off, China, Venezuela, from buying cheap oil from Venezuela with the Iran and not with the petrodollar. And also, the, stopping China from getting their oil from Iran. We stop that, they have to now go to the regular market to buy oil, or if we have a regime change and they continue to go back on the petrodollar, right? Then it forces China to buy oil because they import so much of their oil because they don't have the natural capacity like we do or like other countries that produce oil. So it's a very big game. We like being the top dog, and until somebody knocks us off that peg, yeah, there's a lot of talk that Cuba's next. That would not surprise me. Healthier health wouldn't surprise me at all. Right now, we got like a blockade. And again, Cuba was getting a lot of their oil from Venezuela. Okay. They're not now. So there's that blockade. They're having blackouts down there in Cuba, all kinds of problems. Castro's dead. Obviously, I think his brother's in charge now, and he's up there. So, would that shock me that there was a regime change down there? JJ says Cuba is already a done deal. I'm going to say yes on that one. They're a very small country. We don't need to go in there, I don't think, with boots on the ground. We just cut them off. And if you cut them off, then, that's kind of how it goes. But, it's just, there's a lot of stuff going on. Again, we're not privy to all the information, guys, but we could not continue to let China get bigger and stronger and get locked in. We couldn't do it. So, whatever lipstick they want to put on the pig, right? There's things that have to be done, and again, I don't always agree with it. I don't think we should be getting involved in world politics with a lot of stuff that we do. We got our fingers in way too many pies, but we spend. I don't remember the exact number, but I believe, and please somebody let me know. Okay, the series is only going to be once a week. Yes, yep. Thursdays at 7 for the Chronicles. Yep, we're going to do that once a week because that'll spread it out and make it longer, and it'll be fun. I just think that'll be fun, and then you got to come back to hear the next installment of the story, and we can, we can do a whole episode just on one person's journey down to the homestead and how long it takes them and what obstacles they run into and those type of situations. So, that'll, and again, that makes it interesting as well, and then when they get here, then all those type of stuff. Yeah, Raul Castro is like 94 years old, and their electric car hasn't been maintained since the collapse of the Soviet Union. Yeah, I mean they're in pretty rough shape down there. So, but anyway, so there's a lot going on. Obviously, we just got to be patient, hopefully, and hope that our leaders are doing what's in the best interest of the country. If they can take care of this situation with Iran pretty quickly, then you're going to see gas prices go back down. Now, could it escalate? Absolutely, it could escalate. I mean, right now, you have Iran is hitting all these neighboring countries. And like I said, they went after the natural gas pipelines or plants in Qatar. So, those people got to be pissed off about that as well. So, because it's like, yeah, you can hate America and you might want to go after America, but, doing what they're doing is just pissing people off. So, and you already have Saudi Arabia is basically saying, we might get involved here. So again, that none of that surprises me. None of that surprises me. Guys, we got 275 in the chat. We're at 122 thumbs up, which is less than half. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. Again, I do appreciate that. It really does make a huge, huge difference with the algorithm. So the more interaction, the better. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And again, I thank you ahead of time for that. So I do appreciate that. All right. So going back to this, so with everything that's going on, obviously it's very concerning. Not going to no, there's no joke in that. There's no sugarcoating that. And apparently they didn't kill the leaders of Iran. Someone is still calling the shots for. Oh well, they did kill a lot of the higher ups, but there's other people always willing to take that lead, and so that's. Ed, did Sandy end up taking Zeus and the puppy? Not sure you updated on that. She is going to be heading back south in I guess in a few days. And when she heads back down, she's going to be taking Zeus and the puppy, the female. And that female puppy is going to end up being gorgeous. I mean, I got to do another video of the pups. You'll see Tank is up to like 36 pounds now. I mean, he's solid. And she's actually, she's leaner than Tank, but I think she's going to be a big dog. I think she's going to be a big dog. So I definitely have to do another video of them so you guys can see them. If you saw them today a little bit in the video, but it was from a distance. So, but anyway, but yeah, it's now they're doing really, really good. The pups are doing great, and Tank, I've been, like I said, I'm interfacing him, if you will, with Hella, and they can, they're spending time together, and she's actually done really, really well with him. And so the other thing is, once Zeus is gone and the other puppy's gone, then Kali is actually going to be spending more time in the camper as well. Now at night, Kali and the puppy will go out and sleep in the wolf's lair, but I want her and the pup to be spending a lot more time with me and Hella and stuff like that as well. Now I will be making a second run this year for the girls, because once they go into heat, they will be completely separated from everybody else. So yeah, we do not want more puppies. I do not want more puppies. So, but did you hear the stamps are supposed to go up $1? Inflation more like 20%. Wow, I did not hear that. I had not heard anything about that yet. Wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me at all. So, all right. So anyway, with everything going on, guys, very concerning, obviously. Lots happening. Things could change in a heartbeat. If we have some kind of an event that happens within inside of the United States to cause chaos, that wouldn't shock me either. If you remember in my last live stream, I brought up a scenario, okay? And I'm going to bring it up in this one again. No guarantee that it would actually be an enemy that did it. I'm not saying that our own government would do it, but I wouldn't be shocked if our own government did it, like a false flag event, or allowing bad actors to pull off some kind of an event that caused a lot of deaths. Okay. Now, again, you got to understand, one of the things you got to understand is everything is a game. Everything's for advantage. Everything is either allowed to happen or to happen for the advantage of the people that are in power and the people that are in charge. And if right now we had some kind of an event in this country blamed on the Iranians or whoever, right? Who would be taking the brunt of that blame right now? It would be the Democrats. And why is that? How much is land cost in your area and how much are taxes? Thanks. Things have gone up land-wise and taxes-wise since I've been down here. Both have gone up because people are getting out of blue states and they're moving to red states. So it's not as cheap as it was, okay? But anyway, going back to what I was saying, I hope that answers your question. Not as bad as when I was in New York, though. I'll put it like that. So anyway, if something were to happen, who would we be blaming? We would be blaming the Democrats. And why would we be blaming the Democrats, right? Because they did not fund Homeland Security. Homeland Security is the one that makes sure that we are safe here within the United States. There are events that happen, guys, that are squashed that you never hear about because, those people that look out for that and are watching that and are watching this group or that group or the other group, or they've infiltrated those type of groups. They're making sure that we're safe. So a lot of things I think that don't happen is because of what these people do. But right now, Homeland Security is not being funded. Okay. And that's the Democrats' fault. So what do we have coming up this year? We have the midterm elections, Okay. And so it would not shock me, again, if something were to happen, because the blame would fall on the Democrats' shoulders. I just, over and over and over again, and this I don't understand. I honestly don't understand. Okay, please tell me. I would love for somebody to please explain this to me. You have the what do you call it? The SAFE Act, right? 80% or 75% of their own party supports, their constituents support the SAFE Act. So that's an overwhelming number of people from their own party that support it. And it's like 85% or something like that of Republicans support it, right? But yet they're voting against it. Why would that be the case, folks? I mean, let's break that down realistically. Why would you not want to have voter ID for elections? You got to have it for everything else, right? Waiting for the TSA agents to all walk off the job. Apparently, the shutdown got extended. Well, I know that there's a lot of issues there, and it's like long lines. Hey, Bernie, thank you for becoming beginning prepper. I appreciate that. Thank you for the support. So you got that situation, and TSA could walk off. They're not getting paid, right? There's a lot of them that are not getting paid. And so that affects everything. Now, I will tell you what, please take me back to the days where I can go get on an airplane and not have to go through the nonsense that you got to go through now. But again, going back to the whole thing, why would they not want this to have voter ID to have elections? Because it would stop fraud. It would stop fraud. It would stop ballot stuffing. It would stop illegals from voting in elections, which they shouldn't be voting in elections anyway. So, the Democrats they didn't bring in 8 to 12 million people in this country not to use them, right? You keep giving people free handouts constantly, right? They're going to vote the way you want them to vote. I mean, that's a fact, folks. That's a fact. So again, we're not talking about, well, maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure. No, absolutely 100%. There's a lot of fraud in elections. It has been proven before. And so, again, it's just, but it seems like, and please tell me I'm wrong on this one again, it's an 80-20 issue over and over and over and over again with the Democrats, where 80% of the people want something and the Democrats side with the 20% that don't. It makes no sense. But yeah, I just think that, again, you should be, you should have ID to vote in the elections. That's a no-brainer. Like I said, again, you got to have it for everything else. I mean, even at my age, occasionally they'll go, if I'm buying beer, they'll go, I got to see ID. I'm like, or they'll ask me, they look at me and they know that I'm old enough, and they'll go, what's your date of birth? So I give them my date of birth or whatever. But a lot of cases will go, I got to see ID, and I'm like, I could care less. Yeah, here you go. There's my ID. And I'm going to tell you what, if you're in this country and you are a citizen, you have some form of identification. So, I mean, their arguments are ridiculous. And they're just, they're morons. It's just like the idiots that come in here telling me how Iran's winning the war. Oh, well, you're just listening to the propaganda of the West. No, no, I'm not. Now, again, like I said, the whole thing with the aircraft carrier, the Ford, I'm not buying that it's a laundry fire. I'm not saying that they were hit by a missile, but would it shock me if they were? It wouldn't. I mean, you're going to have damages. Things are going to happen. It's just a fact. All right, guys, we're 30 minutes in. We got 30 minutes to go, and we're at 164. Let's do a goal of 300 thumbs up. Let's see if we can hit 300 thumbs up. So we're halfway, more than halfway there. So again, if you have not shot that thumbs up yet, I'm gonna ask you to do that to show support for the channel. Again, I appreciate it. Again, it really does with the algorithms and pushes us higher up in the rankings. I do appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. The Department of Navy is now saying it was possible sabotage. Well, that wouldn't shock me either, honestly, JJ. Yeah, I mean, because there's no way a fire, and like I said, you close off compartments if there's a fire. So sabotage would be bad. That would be bad. Yeah. So to this day, I have not been asked for my ID, and even when I understand age, LOL, I'm jealous. Oh, I always laugh when I get proofed. I just laugh. I go, yeah, okay. But going back, kind of on topic, if you will. All right, we are on a clock, folks, and that's the way I feel. I've been feeling that for a very, very long time. Do I wish something would happen? I don't, because I know how bad it will be when it does. Okay, but do I think something will happen? I do. There has to be a reset. There has to be. We cannot, as a country, keep doing what we're doing. And I want to throw something out at you guys. And please, again, I love the feedback. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Okay, so they keep talking about how we're $39 trillion in debt, right? And who is the country, right? I want you to think about this and tell me, does this make sense? Okay, so who is the country we supposedly are borrowing a lot of this money from, right? Who is that? Supposedly, we're borrowing this money from China, right? And now we're in this huge debt to China. Now, China is the country that is our biggest opponent, if you will. We're not on the same page in a lot of ways. And, why would a country keep letting another country that they can't stand their values, right? Why would you keep letting them borrow money? That whole thing, you've heard of a Ponzi scheme, right? That's what I think it is, because I don't think we're in debt like that. Because if we were in debt like that, realistically, if we were in debt like that, okay, they would be consolidating stuff. They'd be like, wow, we got to get this debt down. We got to stop all this. We got to, stop all these things that we're doing, all this money going out. And I just like, they're talking about how much money we've spent on this event already, with Iran, talking about what's like 21 billion, or I think it might be more than that by this point, but it was a lot of money. Okay. And they were, so somebody said, well, we could have done this with that money. We could have done that with that money. We could have done this. We could have built homeless shelters. We could help these people. We could help that people. Right. And I think we should be doing those type of things. Right. But we can never get our Republican and Democratic people to agree on squat. They will never be on the same page with each other. I saw a thing today. And it made me think for a minute. It really, really did. Okay. And I'm going to share something with you guys. And I've talked about this like maybe one other time before, but it says, can somebody who's a conservative Republican date somebody who's a liberal Democrat, and can you be married? And the person was like, my grandmother, I'm pretty sure she was, more of a liberal Democrat, and my grandfather was a conservative, Republican. And they were like, back then he was like, yes, that could work back then. He goes, now it just can't. It can't work anymore. And the reason is, and I have a tendency to agree with that, because both sides are locked into here's where I'm at. That we're not talking about independents. We're not talking about people that are like middle of the road and have, some Republican views, some Democratic views, those type of things. Okay. Moderates. We're not talking about those people. We're talking strictly left and right. Okay. The reason it can't work today is because they're so galvanized in to their viewpoint that they won't even have a discussion with anybody that thinks differently than they do. Okay. So my sister had come out to me a while ago, and she goes, Ed, I don't know if you know this or not. She goes, but Jeannie, my niece, who I love to death, okay, I helped raise her when she was little. She goes, Jeannie's a hardcore liberal. I'm like, what? So I had an opportunity to talk to my niece, and I said, Jeannie, I go, what's this that I hear, that you're like this hardcore liberal? And she said, and this is, and I love this way she handled this. Okay, guys, I really, really, truly do. She said, Uncle Eddie, she goes, I love you very much. She goes, and I know what your views are. And she says, my views are completely different. I don't want to get into an argument with you. She goes, because I love you, and neither one of us are going to change our viewpoints. So I would rather just not talk about that aspect of our lives at all. And I looked at her and I went, not a problem. Because I respect people's viewpoints. I respect the fact that, I think she's completely wrong. I do, but I still love her. And I don't want to get in any kind of thing where there's a wedge that's drawn that she has to, in her mind, make a decision to cut me out of her life because I don't agree with her. So it's agreeing to disagree, but not bringing it up and discussing it every single time, because that serves no purpose. So again, everybody's got to handle those type of situations the way that they do. I know that sometimes that the liberals, they will cut people off completely. I've had it done to me. Oh, you don't think like I do? You're done. I'm like, hey, whatever. Have a good life, because I don't care. But that absolutely does happen, unfortunately. All right, so we got 313 in the chat. We're at 194 thumbs up. The goal is going to be 300. So we need 106 more thumbs up, guys. So keep them coming, please, just for fun, and see if we can hit 300 thumbs up. We got to hit 200 first before we can think 300, but that's just, that's where we're at. Yeah, they don't print money. They just print numbers on a spreadsheet. Yeah, it's a huge manipulation, a fear tactic when it comes to money. It's a game. It's an absolute game, because it always seems whatever pet projects that they have or whatever their agenda is with whatever, they got the money for that. I know, Big Golden Night. I know, for a Friday night too, Auntie. I know, it's like, well, we're 99 away and we got 22 minutes. So I think we can hit 300. I think we can hit. I don't agree. I do the agree to disagree with my wife on religion, and that's okay too. That's perfectly fine. I actually had somebody. I think it was Jason, Angry Prepper. Him and I were having a discussion, and I'll share this with you guys. Anybody that watches this channel for any length of time knows I am not a religious person. I do not like organized religion. I don't play that game. That's just my own personal take. And Jason asked me, he said, well, Ed, can I ask you a question? And I said, sure. He said, let's say SHTF happens and everybody's down at your place. He goes, are you going to allow people to have like a service on a Sunday in worship? I said, absolutely, because it's fine. I don't have, see, again, I don't like organized religion. If you're religious and it gives you peace of mind, then good for you, and I'm happy for you. But don't try to jam that crap down my throat, because I'm not a believer. I'm just not. Okay. So again, I think that, you have to look at every situation and go, okay, you have to respect people, right? But again, if they wanted to worship, I'm not going to tell them they can't just because I don't. Okay. That would be ridiculous, because I have some people in my group that are very religious, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. But they respect me enough to know, right, don't jam that down my throat because I don't want to hear it. So, but that's just, yeah, you believe your way, I'll believe mine, and that's how it works. Exactly. Exactly. And it's about respecting other people's viewpoints, is what it comes down to. Yeah, I actually, he said, Ed has read the Bible more than most of you. I have read the Bible cover to cover, cover to cover. Okay. So yeah, I have read it quite a bit. Been a while, but I absolutely, and that's a funny thing was with people, they'll be like, well, you don't know the Bible. I go, oh, yeah, I do. So, and that's, like I said, again, I'm going to tell you what, and this is just, I'm just sharing this with you guys, and you guys can take it for what it's worth. Okay. Um, Ed, will your niece come there if SHTF happens? I hope so. I hope she does. I absolutely hope she does, and I hope she brings her boys. I'm hoping that she does that because she would be the one also bringing my mother. So, because they're all in that same town. So I absolutely hope she does. Like I said, SHTF happens, folks. It ain't gonna matter if you are a liberal, a Republican, a Democrat. It's not gonna matter if you are a moderate, whatever your views are. None of that's gonna matter in a true SHTF event because it's going to be about survival. That's going to be the focus, is about survival, not debating, you know, who's right and who's wrong and all this kind of nonsense. So yeah, absolutely, I hope she comes when SHTF happens. Like I said, I love her. Bottom line, she was my, until Heather came along, she was like the kid. I spent a ton of time with her. I tried to guide her, talk to her about different stuff and how to act, and and all those type of stuff. So she's a good kid. She just got mixed up views, and a lot of them do now, unfortunately. So, but anyway, that's all part of it. So, okay, so we're at 216. We need 84 more, right? 84, yeah, 84 more to hit 300, guys. So let's keep them coming. All right. So, but yeah, again, I believe that something is going to happen. 100%, I think something's going to happen. I think it's going to be a worst case scenario. Um, my most plausible scenario, and that's what I'm doing my story on, is a grid down situation. That is a very, very realistic situation that could happen. And our electrical grid is antiquated, and it's just a bad situation. Now, could it be a myriad of other things? A financial collapse, Yellowstone going off. And if Yellowstone goes off, folks, the best thing that most of us could do is tuck our head between our legs and kiss our behind goodbye. Yellowstone is a game changer. Okay. When Toba went 77,000 years ago, they believe the entire species of humans on the planet went down to about 10,000 people. And I want you to think about that. Think about how many people we have, almost 9 billion people on the planet right now. Go from that down to about 10,000 people. Now, I think we're more prepared, I guess would be the right word, for those type of things, because there's a ton of underground bunkers all over the place and they're stocked up. And so I think more people would survive, in that type of a scenario now. So, but it's just, there's so many different things. It could be another pandemic, one that takes out 90% of the people in the world, right? I mean, that's not Captain Trips, right? Stephen King's The Stand, but those things are absolutely things that could happen. Ed, whatever happens first, it will cause a domino effect. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. It would absolutely be a domino effect, and not good. Hey, and let you know, I used to live in upstate New York, and this taxes are crazy. Oh yeah, that's one of the reasons. There's many reasons why I left, but that was one of them. That was one of them. Yeah, enough of that. The taxes up there are absolutely nuts. Hey, RC Kev, even if something doesn't happen, I think it's safe to say you enjoy your property and lifestyle. That's a great point, RC Kev. Yes, and I was going to bring that up, and I appreciate the donation and thank you for the statement. I do enjoy living this lifestyle, and I love my property. And if we can get this tricked out the way that I would love it to be tricked out here over time, and nothing ever happens, well, then guess what? I got a bunch of friends that can come down that are like family. We can hang out. We can enjoy spending time together. Continue to putter on projects and make the place better and better and better over time. So yeah, yeah, man has rebooted civilization many times. Absolutely, they have. Absolutely. All right, so we're getting ready. Don't start putting your guesses up yet, okay? But I'm going to ask real quick again. We're at 223 on the thumbs up, so we need 77 more thumbs up. So if you have not shot when the goal's 300, I'm going to ask you to please shoot a thumbs up to show support for the channel. Again, it really does make a huge, huge difference with the algorithm, so I do appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And again, I thank you for that ahead of time. All right, so egg count. How many eggs today? Yes or no for Miss Betty White? And how many of the Easter eggers laid today? So I'll give you guys time to get your guesses in, and we will go from there. All right, let's keep them thumbs up coming. 69 away, too, guys. Let's see if we can get there. If everybody that's in here that hasn't shot one in here yet, we got it in a heartbeat. So, well, here's another thing people don't think about either, right? We could have another asteroid strike. There's not much we could do about that, depending on where it hit, how devastating that would be. Because asteroids come in and hit the planet quite a bit that people don't think about. But if there was one that was a good size one, and there's a lot of them that are good size ones, they could do a serious amount of damage. So, all right. So I'm going to tell you real quick before I give you the answer. So yesterday I had 10 eggs. The day before that I had 10 eggs. I knew nobody was going to get today's guess. Nobody was going to get today's guess. Today I had 3 eggs today. 3. No Betty White and none of the Easter eggers laid today. So I don't know what their deal was today because it was nice. It's a nice day. But they were like, nope, we are not laying. Yeah, Prepper just put it in there. That's funny. So, but yeah, I'm like, there's no way nobody's guessing 3 and no Betty and no Easter eggers. Vacation day. They're on strike. I'm like, what is up with that? I mean, because they've been pretty consistent here lately. They've been laying really, really well. So I guess they decided it was a day that they did not want to lay eggs today. But yeah, I'm like, what is going on? And I even gave them treats today. They got some extra lettuce. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So, but it is what it is. But yeah. But hey, you're gonna have days like that. That's gonna be all part of it. All right, we're at 244. So now we're 45. So we're 55 away, guys. Maybe I'm asking for too much here, but I still think we can hit. I still think we can hit 300. Or let's see how close we can get. And if we're close at the end, maybe I'll go over. So keep them thumbs up coming, please. Yeah, the Butt Nugget factory was closed today. Yeah, they were on strike. Absolutely on strike. Well, and see there, so there's a good example of something too. Okay. I want you to think about this part of it. So it's SHTF, right? You have your chickens, you have what other animals you have, and you are counting on those eggs every day because you have people to feed and you're hoping to get, a certain number of eggs every day. And then they don't do that. That affects your productivity, that affects how well you're able to live. It puts everything behind. So those are factors as well. And when I talk about like gardening and I say, yeah, gardening is great, but there's no guarantee. You know what I mean? There's no guarantee. So, you might, your cucumbers might do fantastic and your tomatoes might do crap, or some blight comes or some critters come. that affect everything. I mean, there's so many variables when it comes to gardening that can make you know it makes it tough. But again, you know, you should get in there, get your fingers in the ground, get growing stuff. You know, make progress on that, and then harvest and can get to canning. Again, I told you recently I spoke with somebody, and she was saying that for a family of five, they had 1,500 cans and they used them all. They canned everything. And then by the end of the season, before they started harvesting again, they were pretty much had used all of them. So that's a really good thing to look at as far as a guide goes, because that is, you know, that's a lot of cans to have on hand and ready to go. So, you know, but all right, we're at 256, so we need 44 more, guys. Let's keep those thumbs up coming. I know your son is autistic. Is autistic genetics from which side of the family? No, it doesn't. It's not from genetics. They'll even tell you it's not from genetics. It's not from the mother. It's not from the father. I have my own thoughts on autism as a nurse. I cannot share them on here because I will get dinged. But if you want to write me privately through email, I would be more than happy to tell you the story of my son, what happened to him, and why I believe my son has autism. All right. That's all I can say about that, because I have to be very, very careful on YouTube, because you are punished if you have an opinion sometimes. And that's a fact. That is a fact. So I have to always be very, very careful. So if you want to shoot me an email at preppernurse1@yahoo.com, I'd be more than happy to share my thoughts on it and explain what I think happened with my son. Okay? All right. Thank you. And there's nobody that could tell me any different because I saw it firsthand. Okay? So you know, that's just my take. So anyway, all right, we're at 262. We need 38 more thumbs up, guys. I don't think we're hitting 300 unless all of a sudden a whole bunch of people that didn't throw a thumbs up yet start doing it. I don't think we're hitting 300, but oh well. Yeah, beef and chicken, I'm with you. I'm not going to say what you said, but I am with you. Yes, absolutely. 100%. 100%. So, anyway, again, I believe we are on a clock, and I believe that clock is ticking, and it's ticking down. And the more that we can do to put ourselves, listen, there's going to be people, all right, they're always going to say, you're crazy. Nothing's ever going to happen. You're wasting your time. Why are you doing that? Yada, yada. There's always going to be that. It's never going to stop not being there, okay? And that's okay. They can say whatever they want to say. They can think whatever they want to think. The way that I look at it, not only do I have a beautiful piece of property down here, I have a great group of people, and we are working on making it a paradise together. And if nothing ever happens, then guess what? The rice that I bought 10 years ago, it's not going to go bad, but it ain't going to be as cheap as it was then. So I have a good stockpile of food that I can do a rotation with, and adding more stuff in as I see fit. Also, you know, I love where I'm at. So, you know, that's just the way that it is. So, but, you know, again, but do I feel like something's coming? I absolutely 100% do. It's coming. It's coming. And those people that are the naysayers that want to be negative and nasty and all those type of things, boy, are they in for a rude awakening. A rude awakening. Why would you not? And again, this is a very simple question. If you knew that 93% of the people in this country are not prepared for a 2-week disaster, let alone anything longer, right? Why would you not have at least 2 weeks worth of food and water set aside? It's not a lot of money. It really isn't. It's not a lot of money. You don't have to do freeze dried, and you don't have to do all the fancy stuff. You could just have a decently stocked pantry with the things that you like to eat, because even though that's not going to save you long term, right? But if you have at least 2 weeks worth of food and water ready to go and things go belly up in this country, it buys you time. And that's what I think a lot of people don't understand. You want time. You want to buy time because you got to have time to think through what is my next move. Now, as a prepper and somebody who prepares, I've already thought through my moves. I already know what I'm doing. That's not even in question. Okay. So we're 273 guys. So we need 27 more. 27 more thumbs up to hit that 300 thumbs up number. So please keep them coming if you haven't done so yet. If we don't hit 300, let's see how close we can come. Please, why not? And it's for fun. It's for fun. But always someone saying why you are doing things like that, and you want things like that. They want to do because they don't think you are smart doing things the way that you do things. Well, you're always going to have everybody. See, here's and thank you, Sean, for saying that. Everybody's an expert when they're sitting on their couch and they're doing nothing. Okay, that's the reality. Okay, that's the reality. Um, you know, you do the best you can. As long as you're putting in the effort, I think that's the most important thing. Put in that effort. Get things done, get things squared away. All right, now we're 20 away, guys. We got like 4 minutes to go. Can we get 20 thumbs up in 4 minutes? I think we can. I think we could hit 300 still. But again, you're always going to have people. And here's the thing: is I love constructive criticism. I absolutely love constructive criticism. I love people saying, "Hey, have you thought about doing it this way?" Or maybe, what about if you did this or you did that? I love that. I think that that's great because what does that do? It makes me think. You know, even as a group, okay, I may look at things one way and somebody else may say, "Hey, what about this?" And, when I think about it, I go, "Wow, they're right." So even in a group, you can get really positive. Yeah, now we're 13 away, guys. We're at 287. We need 13 more thumbs up. Let's keep them coming. I think we can still get 300 out of this. Again, you know, if you don't want to prep, then don't prep. But when something happens, you have nobody to blame but yourself. And again, when it comes to prepping, it's not about, oh, I'm getting ready for the end of the world. We're going to have natural disasters that continue to happen over and over and over. They happen every single year, right? Why would you not be ready for that? Because again, you're looking then at like a 2-week disaster. Then, hopefully the government will come in and they fix things and things get better, yeah, it's like buying insurance. You may never use it, but it's nice to have just in case. I've always said I'd rather have it than not need it than need it and not have it. All right, now we're 8 away, guys. We are very, very close. 8 more thumbs up, please. But if at the very least you're prepared for any disasters in your area, you'll be prepared for the biggest SHTF scenario. Absolutely. And as I've told you guys before, I like to win. I don't play any game not to win. And this is a game like anything else. And I play to win. That's it. When the time comes, I will do whatever is necessary to keep myself, my family, my group, and my friends, whoever's here, I will do whatever I have to do to keep them safe. Bottom line. And that's just the way it is. You can agree with that. You can disagree with that. I really don't care. I don't. Because push comes to shove, when the time comes, I'm going to take care of my people. So we're at 294, guys. We need 6 more thumbs up. We're very close. Yeah, it's not about doom and gloom. Thank you, Mimi. That's a great statement. It's about being ready for a situation that will happen at some point. Exactly. I don't come on here. I'm not trying to peddle fear. I'm not fear mongering. I just lay stuff out, give you options. You can do whatever you want to do. It's called free will because we're all human beings and we can do whatever we want. But when the time comes and you don't do something and something happens, that's on you. That's so we're at 299, guys. One more thumbs up, please. One more. There we go. We're at 300. Look at that. Awesome. I wasn't sure we were going to do it, to be honest with you. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you with my favorite saying, which is STD. It's a great mantra and it works. It really, truly does. If you follow it, you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to, that realistic expectations. So you set goals that you can meet and reach, and then you follow my mantra, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that can stop you from achieving your goal is you. That's it, nobody else. If you stay positive and stay away from negative people that tell you what you can't accomplish, when you accomplish those goals that they tell you that you can't do, then they have to shut up because you did it. And that's the most satisfying thing that you could ever do with those type of people. I've dealt with that over and over again through the years. People telling me what I couldn't accomplish, and when I did it, they crickets because you did it. So, and she's slept here the entire time, right here, because she was out earlier. So that worked out good tonight. So you probably wondering where's the dog go tonight? She's right here sleeping right next to me. So guys, please be safe. Keep prepping. I will see you guys all on Sunday for the next live stream at 8 o'clock. Hopefully, you guys will join me then. And in the meantime, have a good weekend. Take care of what you can, control what you can control. All right. I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.